as far as all this happened, all this started on October 12th, 1995, where I bought a book called The Psychic Explorer by V. Van Dam, written by. And I've never heard of out-of-body experiences. And I read this book, the back of the book, and it talked about being on another planet. And I was like, wow, this is interesting. So I bought the book and took it home and read the first 14 pages. I talked about how to leave the body, that the author has been doing it for many years, over 20 years. And now he got to the point where he's able to leave his body consciously. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. I was like, I'm going to try it. Why not? So I laid down the day I bought the book and tried to have an out-of-body experience, and it happened. In fact, it happened more than I could ever dream of. I went to a totally new dimension. I was totally conscious, floating in a living light, sparkling, shimmering all around me, and playing an invisible guitar. And the music I was playing was the most intense feeling of love that I could have ever dreamed up. And the music seemed to get more intense as I started playing. And I stopped playing the music and watched the music flow from me in a ribbon of light into the light, and the light shimmered, and then a wave of light came back to me. And when it touched me, I heard the music, and the music was the most perfect sounds for my soul vibration. And it was like my soul, and it lifted me into a state of oneness. And I remember the light changing into like this white, powerful light. And I remember thinking pencils, pens, crayons, dogs, hammers, nails, everything being this oneness. And then I woke up. That experience was so profound for me. At the time I was in college in my second year studying psychology, that I left college and read this book, put all my thirst for knowledge into this book, and I proceeded to start to have out-of-body experiences. Over the next few months, I eventually made contact with different UFOs in my out-of-body experiences, as the book was teaching me that this is an evolutionary thing. So throughout the years, I had been doing this work out of the body until December 25th, 2014, when I discovered by accident balls of light always with me. And once I got my own camera and said, if you're real, show me a sign, I took a picture after seeing the balls of light with many different cameras with my friends and stuff, who just happened to, for a coincidence, they came over and took pictures. This is the picture I took on December 25th, I think it's 2014. I said out loud, if you're real, show me a sign. And the ball of light appeared over the altar, which I had already had an altar dedicated to all religions and everything there. So over the next couple, that was my confirmation. That's what I call that picture, confirmation. So after that, I started taking pictures every day and getting these confirmations.
Jay, excuse me to interrupt you. Can you move the phone closer to your screen, because
Can I move? What'd you say? I'm sorry.
can you move the phone closer to your
Closer?
screen?
Okay.
And I have a question about this orbs. You can see with your naked eye, or you can see only when you took a picture?
It's both. I can see them. I don't like sit here and see all these balls of light flowing around me. No, but when I am sitting here, I'll see specks of light out the corner of my eye. And so from my own research, those are them. You know what I mean?
You eventually, maybe you feel the presence of the orbs?
Yeah, that too. Well, it's easy because as long as you resonate to a higher frequency and love, a state of love, they will always be kind of attracted to you.
So you can imply them with your consciousness?
Right. right.
Can you invite it now?
There. If I, yeah, sure, yeah.
It happened. What happened?
But and so I started researching this phenomena the best I can and try and discover what it really is. And because it's something real, like I couldn't believe it. I really still to this day can't believe that it's real,
Yeah.
even after 50,000 pictures.
And what do you think about these orbs? What kind are they?
I'm sorry, you said what does who?
What do you so far discover about these orbs?
Okay, what I've discovered.
Uh-huh.
Well, from my own research, I believe that they're anything non-physical, which means your cat sleeping, your dead cat visiting your dead relatives, your ancestors, your spirit guide, ETs who are advanced ETs who are traveling out of their bodies, masters, ascended masters, teachers, fairies, gnomes, elementals, everything.
But definitely they're intelligent. They can talk.
Right. Right. A definite show of intelligence and love, like all the different faces. So after I started taking pictures, what I started discovering was that very quite weird, quite naturally, it discovered that when you zoom in on these orbs, okay, when you crop them, right, with a camera, crop the picture, that there possibly could be a connection to crop circles.
That's interesting.
Right. Like a message, an encoded message. Maybe they were trying to show us that these crop circles that you see out in the fields perhaps have something to do with cropping orb circles and looking into a higher dimension. Because I eventually, my consciousness, after discovering these balls of light and studying them, I had a very amazing a conscious breakthrough, where I was seeing life in everything. I was seeing faces within the carpet, within the lamp, like almost like everything started becoming alive because I started studying the cropping these beings, cropping the circles.
When you did for first time your out of body experience, do you have any did you worry about this? What was going to happen with you? Maybe you maybe you get up and turn in your body.
Well, I honestly no. I don't know why.
Yes, it did.
No. I thought all my life that I always wanted to make contacts with extraterrestrials. And, someone asked me on another Zoom yesterday, did I ever have any experiences as a child like this? And I've never been asked that question. And I only remember one time when I was a child that I was trying to fly and I actually started flying. And I lifted off the ground and I was floating like Superman, and then that's the only thing I remember magical as a child.
Like meditation.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, not flying like Superman, but maybe levitating in the same spot.
Yeah.
And there was a storm, I must say. I think there was a storm, so it could have been the wind.
Yeah.
So so yeah, so I had this amazing breakthrough. So after that moment, I began taking pictures every day, and they just were showing themselves very effortlessly all around my body. Can you see that okay?
Yeah, I see in your eye.
Yeah, see it in my eye.
Uh-huh.
And then hold on, I got a little bit laymanship here when it comes to this. I ain't fully okay. So like I said, just like I would take different pictures and just be able to do things. See, there's my laymanship coming out. Excuse me. Okay. And, do stuff like hold my hand out. But for the most part, these confirmations to me are what stand out as them showing how intelligent they are. The ball of light always right there. And when I ask them, is this confirmation time? And I go take a picture, sure enough, confirmation time. There's a ball of light above the altar.
Yeah, I see that.
And at that time, I started cropping the circles and putting up a dark canvas in my apartment so I could zoom in better and see what are they trying to show me? Are they trying to show me something? And like, what's really going on here? There's something right there I never noticed before. That's so funny. This right here. I think that's something coming through. Now, this quality of these set of pictures aren't as good. So anyway, so I started zooming in on these and discovering faces, right? Some of them would have really, really
you mean when you start zooming in, you see the face in this orb?
yes. Not all of them, but a very small percentage of them. You could see a face. And I'm gonna switch to another platform here with these pictures and go to hold on, because these pictures seem to be a little bit more quality for some reason. This picture right here was the first picture that said to me that something is strange, right, going on, because at this time I had been taking pictures, maybe about a couple hundred, and looking for a confirmation right here, but there was no confirmation there. But the only thing that's strange about this picture, there's nothing really strange except this one spot right here. And when I zoom in on that little spot, that was the first time I thought I saw a smiley face right here.
It's smiling to you.
Well, to the camera.
Yeah.
And so I began to crop them, right? Cropping circles, right? I began to crop them and start to look for faces. And this one I'm about to show you is probably one of the most defined faces I've ever seen, even after all these years. This is a picture that I took outside, and the original is on here. It's in a different platform, but this is a zoom in of the ball of light that was above my head at that time.
Did you move the phone closer to the screen? Okay.
And the eye right here, a nose, yep, and a mouth right here.
That's it.
And so when I would crop these things and go super in like this is when I would see just like almost like a genetic makeup of existence. Like I see multiple beings upon all sitting within each other. Quite.
By the way, that face looks like that face. Did you see it?
Oh yeah.
My friend.
Oh no, those lips look a little too big. They need to be like little shark slits.
Okay. So, did are you a professional musician or?
Professional musician?
You.
Yeah, well, I play music. I write my own songs. I'm not. I used to be professional, but I haven't made money from music in many years.
Yes.
So I start seeing faces. Here's another one. Now I teach meditation too, and in my meditation area, I would take pictures, and it just so happens that here's another amazing face that just happened to come through. Looks like a kind of a portal right here, and there's a little boy, I think, right there, and a little girl right there. I'm gonna zoom in more.
Yeah, I see the face.
Yeah, so ultimately beyond the faces, oh, there's another one over here. There's two of them over here, but the one that there's another really good one. I don't know why they came in so good for some reason.
Did they move it or just stay in the one position?
I'm sorry.
Are they moving around or they just stay?
Yes. Yes, yeah, constantly moving. Sometimes they'll stay in a certain area, but I have videos too of them kind of moving around. And so anyway, this picture right here basically was the accumulation of me going outside and finding natural power points in nature, like natural power. I was studying sacred geometry and going for ley lines and stuff. And so this area right here, I had felt intuitively that there was like some kind of portal here. So I would come here and cleanse it and ask these beings to show themselves to me from this area. You still there?
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. And so this was my first view beyond faces, but of some things that look of extraterrestrial in nature.
Right. Yeah. Do you think, because I see there with different colors, do you think that maybe they have they come from different worlds?
Right. It could be that. You're right. I've heard many different theories about that. I've heard about the colors and stuff. And in the beginning, what I felt is like, just like you said, I feel like that's for like where they come from. Like maybe like, you know, certain parts of the universe or of realities. But I also noticed too that there would be groups of beings that I would call in. In a picture like this, you would see one group of beings coming in there, another group of beings coming in there, and that you can tell that they were from the same star or the same dimension or natural mineral kingdom. Maybe they were from the elemental kingdoms or the earth kingdom or the you know um, air, certain elementals or something. So this picture really opened my eyes to a whole new substance that I had already been familiar with beings, and just from being in their presence, especially advanced beings. Out of the body, when I am in the presence of an advanced being, I don't have to see it. It's a feeling like, oh boy, someone is here. It's like, oh boy, here we go. It is like and at first for me it was a little scary. I'm not gonna lie, I got scared at first, but I felt like a blunder when I actually let my fear take over me. And then I replaced that fear with love and have been able to merge with the really the ultimate of the highest, and in consciousness, and try to express it in this world.
So all these orbs, they show up because of your meditation, or they just show up accidentally?
Uh, probably both. Like I believe, like if you look at pictures, everyone has them, but not so many people resonate on a higher frequency. What I noticed is that during my I researched all this. I've done all these experiments when I found out this was real, and I took pictures of myself in rooms of people, and all the balls of light would be inside my body and nowhere else. So to me, that kind of made me feel like they weren't vibrating to a high frequency. Maybe they were in a lower frequency. But if you look at pictures and throughout history, or not history, but they really appear next to a lot of people who are all in happy, like kids, and good feelings, good vibrations. Oh, and so back to the also the cropping these beings. Okay, so I started cropping them and making them. This is that face that I had showed you a couple minutes ago, and I put it on an 8x10 frame where I cropped it and put it into physical form. So I took a ball of light and turned it into a film, cropped it. And then I would take a picture of myself holding that, and the balls of light would always be attracted to the picture. Now, I haven't done the experiment to where I give this picture to someone else and have them hold it. You know, otherwise, I'm not sure if it's because of my vibration or because of the picture's vibration.
Actually,
But I do.
actually,
Mhm.
I see in your picture one more orb in your arm nearby to the wall of the house or something.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
That was appear in your hand.
Right. And so I have different pictures like that. I try not to do that too much because it kind of makes me feel like almost like I'm I don't know, like petting an animal or something, but or something like that, or trying to pet a advanced evolutionary being or something, you know. but so this is me. I felt they were gonna be there in this picture, and I'm holding a crop circle, you know, maybe a man-made crop circle, but this is a picture of a crop circle in England, you know, or somewhere wherever this picture was taken. And then here is a ball of light right here. And I had asked, is there a connection between crop circles and these balls of light, and show me a sign. So this was a confirmation that was close, pretty close. And so the accumulation of all this is actually, after all these pictures and being in contact, is a word that manifested in one of the balls of light that appeared above my head one day in 2011. And the word is love. And here it is right here. You still there?
Yeah. I'm watching.
Okay. So recently, right. So after all this stuff, I mean, I can go on. I got to write like 3 books, like, okay, but I can go on and on and on. So recently, I've been studying, doing different techniques for bringing actual extraterrestrial ship down, and doing CE5 work. You heard of Dr. Stephen Greer and all that stuff, and all about, you know. So
Have you brought yet, or
I'm sorry.
have you had a chance to bring the UFO closer to you?
Yes. Um, so last year and the year before, I started doing his protocols, which are basically downloading his app and using the tones on his app and getting into a meditative state and using walkie talkies, okay, with the tones playing, and then, you know, push one walkie talkie so that the tones are playing, and then wait so that so he says they get broadcast, whatever. And so hold on one second here. Okay. And so these pictures, can you see okay? Can you see that okay? Okay, I see a little bit. These pictures were taken right around that time when I had my first craft appear in the sky, and it flashed at me 3 different modes of light, and it was moving all across the sky. And I recorded it on Facebook Live. I couldn't believe it, but I actually did. And it was a beautiful interaction. So these pictures are, to me, connected to that event. These beings kind of appeared around that time, which were, to me, out of all the, you know, my experience, I'd never seen anything like these beings, the way they were kind of strings connected to big lights. And so what you're about to see is one of those beings that's absolutely marvelous. And it's coming up right about now. This picture right here, when you zoom in on this spot right here, there's a beautiful form, and there's balls of light around it too that looks like this when you zoom in on it.
So which is this object when you observe it with your naked eye?
Do I see this with my naked eye?
No, I mean how big are they when you're observing with your naked eye?
You said how I didn't understand.
How big are they when you continue compare with something like a moon?
Oh, you can only compare from what you see in the picture. You know what I mean? Like this right here, if I were to, I'm not sure how big that actually was as compared to maybe this right here. But I would suspect that it was probably about maybe 6 inches
Uh,
right here, this one right there.
6 inches is huge.
Right. Yeah, that is kind of huge. And this was another one that appeared that same time. Like I said, I only bring these up because I'd never seen anything like these before, and I've been taking pictures almost every day for almost 16 14 years, whatever. And it just so happened that I was doing CE5 work when these pictures came about.
You know what's interdimensional for me?
Yeah. You said the connection?
No, I say they look interdimensional for me.
Right. That's a good term, right? I never thought about that. That's what it looks like. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, because usually when they come from different dimensions, they look something like this. You don't see specific form because from our state of observing, like 3D, we can see only like that.
Wow, you're right. That's interesting. Very interesting.
I'm going to play crop circles now.
Oh, you are?
I have that.
Nice. Nice.
Maybe something will come around.
Oh, nice. Yep, that's exactly what I played on repeat with my walkie-talkies. I had my laser, and then they came again 22 days later. 22 days later they came again and I recorded it again. So
So we have some kind of telepathic communications with these orbs, or you just feeling it?
yeah, I just feel like it. Yeah.
Do you think that maybe they give you some messages?
I definitely feel things otherworldly, at different times, and speak from a level of some kind of beyond something.
Share or
Yeah. I usually try to share.
like you, what you can share these communications?
What do they share in the communications?
What is the message?
Well, the greatest message that I have, it didn't really come through them as much as it came through my out of body work, where I woke up in a whole different reality. The earth, but a new earth, a earth that was perfectly at peace. And all humans, all love, all light, all living things were giving off this light. And it was a vibration that always sticks with me, almost as strong as my first out of body experience. But I feel like the message is like peace is coming, like something beautiful is coming, and it's going to make up for all the years of pain that we've all experienced as a race of beings, and a cosmic party.
But you cannot figure out when that's going to happen.
Right. Well, like I said, we used to think it was 2012 when it was going to happen, And then so like the way I feel like it could happen any moment. I really so timeless that you know
Actually, yeah, actually, all this stuff they start happening because many people start to open their mind and consciousness. They start seeing, feeling stuff.
right.
Uh,
That's right.
when you say that you saw the Earth, the planet, and the people uh, from another point of view, can you, if I say maybe like the still form, we think that maybe that will be correct uh, statement?
You have to say that shorter one more time.
Okay, so you said that this, when you had this out of body experience,
Uh-huh.
you said you saw the planet Earth differently, much more beautiful, much more shiny, with all humans in that planet. And
Right. Right. I would you mean I would project into I would like lay there and meditate until a scene would appear in my third eye, and not something that I'm thinking, but something that I actually see, like a brick wall. The darkness starts moving after a while, and then trees start swaying, and then I would be able to will myself into that seeing, and there would be people there and stuff like that. And these, it could just be the realm of the mind, the people, or it could be real people in the astral, or I'm not sure if that answers what you were asking. Yeah,
shiny,
that right. That was one experience, right? That was like certain times I have these initiations or these like magical dreams where I'm in the future or a potential future or maybe another Earth somewhere. So that was I feel that was a frequency of this Earth that we're going to.
can we classify this like a prediction?
I mean, it was. Yeah, 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 yep.
Did you have in your life some predictions like you like thoughts coming to your mind that something is going to happen?
When I take the pictures,
No, generally.
generally,
Yeah.
um, see now you made me leave the body because I was going. Okay, um, I feel it's like yeah, honestly, I feel like a nuclear bomb. I feel like like my energy is discovering the same frequency that's around me, and that everyone is awakening to that. And so it feels, and what I mean by that, it just feels like that I could do anything, go anywhere, be anywhere, get any piece of information I want, and just have access to everything. Just from sitting in this chair in this moment. So but at the same time I'm still human, and so I am constantly balancing myself in my emotions in my mind, and not trying to be too good or being even too bad, but you can explore. I'll turn the light on a little bit so you guys can see. um Written by V Van Dam. Can you see it okay? And this is probably my eighth or ninth copy over the past 20 years. I've given it away so many times, and I had to go buy a new one here, and then give it away, buy a new one.
Can you,
But
which bookstore you bought it?
you could probably go on Amazon or something like that. Um, here's an interesting experience of his. Um, I woke up one morning and I was immediately aware that I could project out of the body, which I did at ease. As I lifted out of my body, I found myself showered by a downpouring of radiant white light sparks, globes, and streams of brilliant light substance, to be more accurate, which lent to an even more powerful projection. I rose into the air, feeling ecstatic and free, with my arms thrown back, my astral body naked, thoroughly uninhibited. As I rose further, the power of the light began to be too strong for me to bear, upon which a higher force shielded me from this light and produced a velvety black space instead. I still felt its enormous power, however. I instantly felt an immense love for what I recognized as the planetary spirit, and in an absolutely natural way, I found myself trusting it. It is difficult to describe a meeting with such a being. The feeling I got was of ultimate friendliness, although I was a lesser being by a very wide margin. It was treating me equal in some ways, and I loved it totally in return. Then I saw two words and letters of fire against the apparent void, two names with a sign of equation between them. One of them I knew well, the other one was a symbolic spiritual name. So in this book, he goes through how to have these out-of-body experiences. Then he talks about his own out-of-body experiences. This one, he found himself in a new solar system. This time there was a ball of light. This time he had met space people. And what was happening to me is I was reading this book and starting to have kind of the same experiences as he was having, meeting different beings, just being out of the body and traveling and doing different things. And I was everything I was, it was like a manual to the universe, really. It really opened me up. And I have all my thanks to this book. I can never, ever, ever, ever speak about. Am I there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I could never, ever, talk about just the price, just how priceless this is, this gem of a masterpiece. And in the back of the book, there's channelings, which are very, 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 very deep, like to the point where I feel them on a molecular level when I read them, and I feel like it's like every time I read it, and I've had this book for 20 years, it still opens me up to something unbelievable that I experienced. Each one of you as an individual contains the initial spark of God or goddess. That is to say that each one of you is a god. At present, you are just playing at being human beings, since your attention has been routed that way. Yet as soon as you see the life, you will see many things which are totally beyond the scope of the average human being to understand or even experience. And so, that was the beginning of a message from beyond the beyond. So it's got some really good, powerful channeling in here, which all the books I've read that have really helped me have been channeled books, from people who have learned how to channel material. Huh?
Have you tried to channel it?
Yeah. I have been able to. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm not I guess when I do my meditations is a form of channeling. So I do channel, and I'm pretty used to that channel. Whatever it is, my higher self is more exact, is probably what it is. But I've been able to channel pretty good amounts of stuff. I just want to tell you that grab a digital camera, and if you are curious, and put that camera on flash. I always take a picture with a flash. It seems harder to get them without a flash, but it's easier with the flash. Now I do and take pictures and see what you can get around yourself. See who you can call into your space. But other than that, I want you guys to know that we as a world are finally here. We are waking up, and we are making contact with ourselves on many different levels. We are not separate from the world as much as the world would like us to view us as separate. We are on the same earth, made from the same dirt, and you are more beautiful than the most brilliant star. And all it takes is for you to realize it. And then the stars will twinkle wherever you are. Thank you. I appreciate this.
Yeah, have a good time again. Say hello to your family and love and everything.
Oh, love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, bye.